Today, we're dipping into some of the more colourful parts of British English. And yes, by this, I mean swear words, or at least words that can be a bit rude, a bit cheeky, and in some situations, downright offensive. But also, weirdly, fun and playful and part of the rhythm of everyday British English conversations. Now, first, as a caveat, I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that you should start going around offending people. But understanding these words and the tone and the humour and the cultural nuance can actually help you sound more natural when you're speaking English. Because swearing in the UK is basically a bit of an art form. But before we jump in and start swearing, I'm Jo, and I live just outside London in the UK. And I work with adults who speak English as a second or additional language. I make videos here on YouTube every week where I try and explore real British English, the language people actually use. And I want to help you to sound more natural, more confident, and a little bit more like yourself when you're speaking English. If you'd like to take things a bit further, and you'd like to book a one-to-one conversation session with me, then take a look in the description below the video and you'll find a link to my website. In my classes, we focus on fluency, confidence, and whatever you need from English in your real life. Like I said, all the details are in the description below. I'd love to hear from you. By the way, I've made a free PDF of all the swear words that I've gone over today. And you can download it if you go over to my website. I'll put a link in the description below. Before I start swearing, I just want to emphasize that swearing in English is very context dependent. You'll hear friends using these words affectionately. You'll hear them said in frustration or maybe anger. Or some people might use them to just add a bit of spice to a sentence. Also, some people swear for comedic effect, especially if it's a mild word delivered in a dramatic or exaggerated way. The golden rule here is it's not the actual word, it's the tone, the relationship that you with the person that you're using this language with, and the moment, the situation. So in section 1, we're going to look at mild, playful insults. These are more silly than shocking. They're the kind of words that you can use when somebody is being slightly ridiculous, but we still like them. You'll hear these words used between friends, siblings, partners, parents talking to their teenagers, old women talking to their dogs, that kind of vibe. You get the idea. So the first one is plum. Now, you might know that plum is a fruit that looks slightly like a part of a man's anatomy, the testicle. So that's why I think it's used as this kind of mild insult, calling somebody a plum. And if you call somebody a plum, you're calling them a harmless fool. So if my son forgot his keys, I might say, "Oh, Louis, you've forgotten your keys again. You're such a plum." Or if Milo, my dog, is barking at the window, I might say, "Get down, Milo, stop barking, stop being a silly plum." Like I say, it's quite mild and inoffensive and gentle. One to use with those you love the most. So the next one is Muppet, and this is even less offensive than plum. You call somebody a Muppet if they're being a bit silly or a bit stupid, or they do something silly or stupid. But they do it in a kind of adorable, incompetent sort of way. Again, it's a loving way to call somebody out. You forgot your keys again. You muppet. It's quite a nice word to say as well. Next one, prat. Now, if you call somebody a prat, I don't actually use this very much, but it's kind of, there's more annoyance there, I think. Somebody who's annoying and foolish. But again, this word isn't offensive. Next up is bugger. And this is a bit stronger. When you use this word, you're suggesting that somebody is a cheeky, kind of lovable troublemaker. So perhaps there's a plate of biscuits. Somebody takes the last biscuit and you say, "Oh, you cheeky bugger. I wanted that. Next one, arse. And if you call somebody an arse, you're suggesting that they're being a bit irritating. Maybe you're having an argument with somebody and you say, stop being such an arse, or stop being such a smart arse if somebody is being annoying and trying to be clever. Okay, now we're going to move on to section 2. Everyday British exclamations. And I say everyday because, believe me, people use, I think, all of these expressions multiple times every day. These ones aren't insults, they're emotional reactions. These words express feelings: frustration, surprise, disbelief. And like I said, they're part of daily British English conversation. The first one is bloody, and this acts as an intensifier. It's bloody freezing. That was bloody brilliant. Again, bloody is quite mild and you'll hear people saying it, and it generally won't cause much offence. Next one. Now, the next one you probably will have heard if you've watched any of the Harry Potter films, because I think Ron Weasley uses this one quite a lot. Blimey. And this is an old-fashioned term of surprise. But I say it's old-fashioned, but my daughter is 17 and I've heard her and her friends use it. So maybe it's made a comeback. Blimey, it's chucking it down out there, meaning, goodness, it's raining really heavily. Blimey, that's expensive. Next one is sod it. And when you say sod it, it means that you've had enough of something and you're going to give up. Oh, sod it, I'm going to go home. Oh, sod it, I'm exhausted, I'm going to bed. Or maybe it's the end of the day and you can't be bothered to cook dinner. Sod it, let's order takeaway. The next one is bollocks, and bollocks can be used to express annoyance, often with yourself. Oh, bollocks, where did I put my purse? Oh, bollocks, I've left my wallet at home. Oh, bollocks, I'm running late. You can also use the word bollocks to describe something that you think is nonsense. So if somebody is talking about something and you think that they're talking a lot of nonsense or a lot of rubbish, you could say, what a load of bollocks. Although you probably wouldn't want to say that to the person's face. Next up, shit. Oh, shit. This is a stronger way of expressing frustration or disappointment. Oh shit, I'm going to miss the train. Oh shit, I'm going to be in trouble. So finally, we move on to the strongest one in this section, which is fuck. Now, when I was a child, if my mum heard me say the word fuck, she would have been furious. But it's the kind of word that has mellowed and has become more common, more commonly used everywhere. And generally, people don't take too much offence at it. Although you need to be careful of the situation. It's not very professional to be at work and suddenly say, oh, fuck, if you're in the same room as your boss or somebody superior. Now, fuck is really versatile because it can express frustration, amazement, fear, anger, anything really. Oh, fuck, not again. Oh, fuck, I didn't get tickets. You can also use fucking as an intensifier in the same way that you could use bloody as an intensifier. That film was fucking amazing. Where's my fucking phone? Swiftly moving on. Section number 3 is stronger insults. Use these carefully because these could cause offence if you use them in the wrong place to the wrong person. These are ones that will definitely offend somebody if you use them seriously. But among close friends, having a laugh, they're fine. The first one is a knobhead. A knobhead is a stupid or annoying person. Oh, you knobhead. That knobhead stole my parking spot. Next up, I really like this one, bellend. I like bellend because it's a sort of childish, rude word. A bellend refers to the tip of a man's penis, if you were wondering. What's a bellend? Like I say, if you were to say this aggressively, you bellend, then you're going to get in a fight. So be careful with it. I use it in a playful, silly way. Next one, tosser. Now, When somebody is a tosser, you're suggesting that they're foolish or irritating. They're annoying. He's a complete tosser. Again, be really careful. Be careful using this directly. If you're just talking about somebody behind their back, you can call them a tosser. Oh, he behaves so badly. What a tosser. Then that's fine. But be very, very careful if you're using it directly with somebody, to make sure that it's done in an inoffensive, sort of more playful way. Next one, a move up from tosser, is wanker. This is stronger. And it's a word that we, again, like tosser, we use to describe somebody who is very annoying or irritating or has behaved badly. Is such a wanker. But in playful banter with friends, we might say, "Oh, stop being a wanker." So again, be careful how you use the word wanker. Finally, I think in this section is the word bastard. And if somebody is a bastard, we usually use this one when somebody is acting unfairly or harshly. We might say, "Oh, you're being such a bastard. Stop being a bastard. He left me to do all the work. The complete bastard." Again, this has to be used carefully, especially if you're using it directly with somebody. Don't use it with anybody you're not on very sort of familiar terms with. In the next section, we're going to look at the intensifiers that British people use with swear words. They're not actually swear words themselves, but they kind of supercharge the insults. You might have heard me using them in some of the examples. And we love attaching these intensifiers to rude words for a kind of comedic effect. So some of these words are massive, absolute, complete, utter, total, proper, silly. So if you want to hear them in action, I've got some expressions here. You massive bellend. She's an absolute muppet. That's utter bollocks. Don't be a silly arse. He's a proper wanker. Now, this is where British swearing almost becomes poetry. So there's exaggeration and there's performance with these intensifiers. In the next section, we're going to talk about the joy and playfulness of swearing in British English. Swearing really doesn't have to be aggressive, and it's obviously much better when it isn't aggressive. It's often affectionate, comedic, and sometimes it's just a way of saying that something mildly inconvenient has happened, like spilling a cup of tea. Oh, bollocks. Oh, shit. And there's often quite a warmth to swearing. And swearing can create connection and bring people together. It can show personality. It can create an informality. And it helps you to express emotion more naturally, as long as you understand the tone. Before I wrap up today, I've just got a quick recommendation for anybody who is really passionate about British English swearing. And it's a book called Roger's Profanisaurus. And I don't know when it was first published, but it's basically an absolute treasure trove of British bad language. It's huge. It's like a huge encyclopedia of swear words and insults and euphemisms and all these creative, quite offensive expressions. Like I say, it's extremely rude. So I don't suggest that you invest in this book unless you're very dedicated to bad language. Or if you're curious about the kind of full, ridiculous, inventive range of British profanity. It's almost like a cultural deep dive. It's funny and it's outrageous. And you could say it's educational. I'll pop the title on the screen and I'll put a link in the description below. I'm not actually sure that it's still being published, but you might be able to find an old copy somewhere. Okay, so that's the end of our tour of some of the more fruity British English language that maybe you haven't learned in textbooks. If you enjoy diving into this side of the language, then do let me know in the comments. Are there any words that you hadn't heard of before? If you like this video, then I'd really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps. And if you are particularly interested in British English, then you might enjoy this playlist. Give it a watch. Thanks for watching to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.